Well, hello and welcome to my world, folks. Welcome to Talk Leadership with Cedrick. Everybody needs a little TLC, and I am Cedrick LaFleur, your host. I'm excited to be here with you tonight. Oh my God, I have a great guest with me tonight. It's going to be a nice show. Talk Leadership with Cedrick is where we focus on leadership and personal growth with business leaders, educators, and local thought leaders. Our goal is to introduce our audience to leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. Now, our guiding leadership principle is the law of buy-in. It says people buy into the leader, then the vision. Mahatma Gandhi spent decades teaching others how to gain their freedom through peaceful efforts and nonviolence. Eventually, the people of India bought into his vision and they were able to carry out the goal. So tonight we have a leader that's going to help us buy into her vision. See, people don't buy into what you do. They buy into why you do it. People will gravitate to the leader because of the dream. You notice Martin Luther King didn't say, I have a plan. He said, I have a dream. And people buy into the dream. The boss, Bruce Springsteen himself said it. A time comes when you need to stop waiting for the man or woman you want to become and start being the man or woman you want to be. So tonight, folks, we have a guest who is dynamic. She is awesome. She shows up every day consistently. And guess what? She's on our show tonight. It's none other than Miss Heather Skanning, aka Heather S. So welcome, Heather.
Hi, Cedrick. It's so good to be with you.
Well, awesome. Well, I'm excited to have you on Talk to Leadership with Cedrick, where everybody needs a little TLC. And we're going to talk about you tonight. Let me do a little intro. Let me tell you who Heather S. is. So meet Heather Skanning. From her personable demeanor, you won't believe that Heather was called names as a child, right? It's true. And that deeply affected her self-confidence. She became a teacher out of a desire to help students see the possibilities of who they could become and not let themselves be defined by the cruelty of others who try to discourage them. See, after a few short years of teaching, Heather S. became troubled by what she observed. The rising incidence of malnutrition, the negative mindsets of students and teachers alike, and the overwhelming pressure on educators to teach to a test rather than classical education methods were just overwhelming. As a result, Heather took a hiatus from teaching and trained to become a professional chef in order to pursue her passion of bringing food, nutrition, and healthy lifestyles to people. And tonight, we're going to cook up some dishes. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. All right. She didn't stop there. Not only did she go back to teaching, but she also began working on her personal development and leadership skills. Now, as an experienced life coach and a public speaker, she has been motivating and inspiring people to live richer and fuller lives from the inside out. Heather has also learned that the hardest person she'll ever lead is herself. See, she still has a heart for the youth, but now she brings her education, nutrition, life coaching, leadership skills all together to make a difference in society that needs to know more, that needs it now more than ever. See, Heather Skanning is the founder and CEO of Coaching by Heather, Heather S., a life and business coaching venture that specializes in encouraging adults and adolescents to become aware and confidently speak into the lives of true passion and greatness. As a teacher, as a coach, and as a public speaker, she has taken her own stories and woven them into her methodology for helping others experience full lives. Heather connects with her targeted audience young and old, on a deeper level because of those things. See, by challenging and encouraging them to reach higher goals. Let's welcome Heather S. to the show.
Yay. Thank you so much, Cedric. That was wonderful.
Well, you are welcome. I am excited to talk with you and have you on the show. There are time comes when there are certain people that you say, "Hey, I want to have this person on the show," just because of persona, personality, style, all of those things, right? And what I'm excited about having you on the show for, Heather, is because you have this je ne sais quoi about you that allows me, at least, to connect and engage with you. And I think all of those life skills, that life coaching, all of those things, those experiences help you better connect with people. So I'm excited to be able to connect with you right here tonight, live on the show.
Yeah, I'm excited you just used the je ne sais quoi. That was great. I haven't heard that in so long.
So tell our listeners, Heather, and I read your bio and I told our listeners a lot about your journey, but the audience really likes to hear directly from you about your journey to leadership and how did you get to where you are today?
Yeah, and I really appreciate you asking that question because I feel like it's so important that we understand where people have come from and that, we see a lot of the fame and a lot of the fortune of different people, but we don't realize that they're really developed in that dark period and those painful processes. And that's really where leadership is founded. It's really formed. So as you said, Cedric, I was a teacher and I was noticing these different things. I was kind of standing back a little bit and saying, I wonder if there's a better way. I wonder if there's a different solution for kind of coming alongside these children or these adults in different capacities. And I did go to culinary school, so I am a classically trained professional chef. And it's a wonderful skill to have in my tool belt. I also really, really love standing alongside a kid and being able to cook with them as well. I think that's a really awesome process. But one of the things that really captivated me when I was teaching was this idea of low self confidence
Mhm.
and these limiting beliefs and this lack of understanding that there could be more. There's a lot of talk out there about growth mindset, and there's a lot of fixed mindsets being used. So, what I tried to do is I started to see solutions, and I feel like a lot of the different leaders in the spaces of personal development and growth really do try to expand their influence. And so that's as I started with my leadership, with my training, with my coaching, I started to build out. And so even though I was still teaching, I was trying to motivate kids. And then I started to actually motivate teachers and try to inspire them. So I started different kinds of spin classes, cycling classes, in order to get teachers on board and really engaged and encouraged in that way. But I
Mhm.
also realized that my strengths, my leadership ability, was best utilized in my own business and then being able to bring that into other spaces. So that's kind of how it's taken me into this leadership role. And I really do think that you lead from within, right? You lead yourself first, and then you're able to show other people how to effectively do it themselves.
Yes, you're absolutely right about that. And it's amazing when you help other people figure out how to lead themselves. It's amazing how you start seeing this transformation in them, right? They get
Right.
excited, they get enthused, they get motivated, they glow in their eyes when it happens, right? I love that. And Heather and I have some news that we're going to tell you tonight too. So tell us something interesting and fun about yourself. Now, let me before let me set this question up, right? So people normally like to do business from people they know, like, and trust. People love to buy from people they know, like, and trust. So help us understand something fun and interesting so we can get to know, like, and trust you.
Something fun and interesting. I was actually talking to someone today that one of the things that I am working on is humor in terms of understanding how to really bolster my comedic side, right? One of the things that I think is kind of interesting about me is that I'm an avid runner, but every person that stops me, that sees me running, asks me if I'm training for a marathon. Every single
Mm,
one. And the common question would be, yeah, of course I'm training for a marathon. But every single time I say no, because I'm not actually training for a marathon. And I always oftentimes think, should I be training for a marathon? What if that would be a good idea, right? Because those are the thoughts that come into our heads. But the thing is that I'm not. I'm training like to listen and to hear and to like develop my own strength, my own mental and physical strength, and
mhm.
it's just a beautiful process that I enjoy for me. So that's something kind of interesting about me, because you'll usually see people that are running and they're usually training for something. So, and I've been stopped multiple times on the road asking that question. So that's something kind of interesting and kind of off the
Okay.
grid, you know?
So you are an avid runner. Okay, all right. Well, I guess we got to start running for something. We're gonna running for life, running for you training for. You're gonna have to train for a marathon or something. I'm gonna have to get you running. To so yeah, you have to run enough for me and you.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'll
Uh,
start doubling my miles.
yeah, there you go. Perfect, right? So tell us a little bit about your business niche.
Yes, my business niche is very dear to my heart. I have always found this, and I believe that it's a calling, and I believe that it's a gift, this connection with youth and with young adults. I feel like I can speak middle school, which I think is not a common trait for a lot of people. And most teachers you find that are in the space of being in elementary or secondary ed, they're always like, "Oh, you like middle school?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I love that age." So one of the things that I noticed is that, like I said in the beginning, like a lot of my stories, as I started building my coaching business, I started working on myself. And I
Mhm.
realized I had to kind of go back a little bit and think about, well, where did my stories come from? And a lot of them came from these formative years in my life. And what I've noticed is that there, and I had wonderful parents who supported me, who encouraged me, but I also listened to outside voices. I
Mhm.
listened to my peers. I listened to, different adults in my life, rather than listening, taking tools and taking time and learning the skills of self confidence and motivation. So that's where my business really started to formulate. And that's really where my heart
So,
lies, is with the youth. So
well,
I've, oh,
oh, go
sorry.
ahead. Oh, go ahead.
I've developed a program for the youth, and it's all about really working from that internal place outward.
Awesome. Well, working with the youth is always important, right? Uh, Helping that next generation go to the next level. And if someone wants to find out more about that, guess what? We're going to have in the comments Heather's website address, right? Scrolling across your screen right now. But in a few seconds, it's going to be in the comments so that you can reach out to her and find out more about the work that she's doing. Um, so, and her website obviously is just coaching with Heather. See, I love it. It's simple, and you can easily find her. Just click on the link in comments, and you will be able to reach out to her. So, Heather, um, when you think about your business, when you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, what really helped you decide, you know what, it's time for me to be an entrepreneur and go out there and create my own?
Great question. I think it was so important for me. It was a turning point when I realized that all I wanted to do was figure out what another solution would be to a problem. it was kind of that idea that Einstein says imagination is more important than education. And
Mm.
I realized that I really started this journey cultivating my own solutions to these kinds of issues. And that kind of jump started me on my entrepreneurial uh, road, my journey. And I realized if I can do this, if I can self motivate and I'm determined enough and I pretty disciplined, then what's to say that I can't do this on my own? And so that really got me thinking, and I started, doing more research and investigating and seeing how I could start my business. And then I took a leap of faith and decided that it was the time. And so, yeah, that's really what got me started. It was like this whole innovative side that once you tap into, it's like, as John Maxwell writes, he's writing on legal pads, right? And that's kind of the process that I started going through myself. And I was like, wow, I can do this for me. I can do this because I want to help other people. And what can I create through my own imaginative lens? So that was really what started me.
Wow. Okay. Well, then, being an entrepreneur comes with its own set of challenges and fun and excitement and all that type stuff. So, for you, what's been the best part of owning your own business?
The best part is still, and I don't know if you feel this once in a while too, but still this little element of surprise. It's like, oh right, I'm doing this. Like, this is mine. Like, this is really cool. I've created this. And it's almost like after you, as a child, right, when you build a gingerbread house and you look at it and you're like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And then you go into the other room, you totally forget that you even did it, right? You go do something else and then you come back and you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, I made that. That's really awesome. Or maybe you wrote a poem or something like that. So I think one of the coolest things for me has been to just look back and be like, wow, like if that can happen, then what's next? So it's kind of like building that momentum. And I think that that's been really, really powerful.
That is phenomenal. Creating something new on your own just really, um, it's always exciting. It's always fun. Can be challenging, but mostly it's fun, right? Because now it's yours, and you get to see um, how much you can innovate, how different you can be, and then you're thinking about how much can I impact a young person,
Hmm.
right? So I
Yeah.
know that you have an event that's coming up where you can impact people, right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
tell us about that.
So what I'm going to do, it's going to be an online event. So you can join me in your pajamas after dinner on the couch and just listen in, because we all know that we've had crazy weeks and it's at night. So that would be wonderful if you could just pop on. It is all about my coaching program. And essentially, it's called the Eye of the Beholder because I really think it's all about shifting the perspective of our youth, shifting the mindset versus seeing other people as the main source of understanding and influence, to really kind of settling into what's true, what's right, what do you believe about yourself, and how do we cultivate that. And really, this program, this event that I'm doing, it's on March 23rd. It's online. It's free. Just click the link and just join in. I'm going to be talking to the parents. I want to really step into the space between, there's a gap sometimes between parents and teenagers, right? There's this like, oh yeah, you've said that 1,000 times. Right, mom, sure, I'm beautiful. Like it's like that kind of, kind of goes over their heads. So that's why I want to talk to parents, is because I know that the heart, I've worked with a ton of parents as a teacher, and I've worked with parents in my coaching. And I understand how much they want the best for their kids. They want them to see their own potential because they love them so much. And that's why I've created this program for this webinar for the parents. And also, I'm going to be talking about my program, but I don't want to leave it at just here's my program. And if you want to do it, right? I want to give them tools to use. I want to give them resources to use now. I love using acronyms. So I want to give the moms, the dads, the people who are the aunts, the uncles, right? The family friends, those people, I want to give them some tools and resources to use now to really help step into that gap with their teenagers. And surprise, surprise, it has to do with doing the work ourselves.
There you go.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So again, the event is March 23rd. You can see it on the screen, but all you have to do, we've made it easy for you. All you have to do is click on the link that is in the comments, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Facebook, or you're on LinkedIn. Just click on the link, and you can join that event. It's a no charge event. Like Heather said, you can be in the comfort of your own home, sitting on your own couch. When she said sitting on your sofa, she's talking about your own sofa, not hers.
Yeah, exactly.
So click on the link and you can join her great event, and look forward to Heather sharing March 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern time, right?
Yes.
Sharing. So if you're in Central Time Zone, that's 6 p.m. for you, right? Heather sharing with you for that event. And we'll talk about it a little bit later as well. So Heather, if a client was sitting right here right now, or if I rang the doorbell and ding dong, and one of your clients walked in the door, what would they say about you and your service?
I I have gotten off of different clients or like different sessions and different things like that.
Mhm.
And they have always left feeling encouraged and inspired. And I think that one of my clients said afterward, I love you, and just this like this reassurance that it's going to be okay and that I'm listening and that I hear them. I really do. It's always one of those things where it's hard to really talk positively about yourself, but I think it's so important, especially in this space, is to understand your own value. And I think one of my clients would also say that when they sit with me and when we do things together, I really hear them. I hear their heart, I hear their passions, I hear what excites them, and I want to do those things with them. I want to be able to be adaptable in situations. I want to be able to talk to them about what's important to them. I want to kind of hold that container, hold that space above them of what's possible for their lives and keep stepping into that and reminding them that that's where they want to go.
Wow. Okay. I like that. I like that. I'm excited about that, folks. Aren't you excited about that? Give us something in the comments. I want to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Talk Leadership with Cedrick, where we know everybody needs a little TLC. And I'm Cedrick LaFleur, your host, but we've been listening to the dynamic, the great Miss Heather S. So, Heather, let's just keep going. Now, at some point in the show, we're going to talk. We have this great announcement that we're gonna announce tonight. I'm excited about it, and but you have to be here to hear it. Right? You're not going to be able to listen to the replay and hear it. You're going to have to hear it here live tonight with us. So we'll announce that a little bit later. But Heather, what would you say has been the best thing that's happened to you so far this year?
In my business, just
You
in
can be in your business or in your personal life. Yeah.
yeah, I think the best thing that has happened to me is that I've been able to see my faith materialize itself.
Mm.
It's huge, right? Because we always talk about fear and faith, and we always talk about understanding that both are in our lives, and
Right.
we have to be able to understand both of them. But then when you say, okay, I'm trusting that this is going to work out, I'm trusting that this is going to happen. I mean, oftentimes you're like, oh, is it gonna happen? Like you have those thoughts. But
Right.
it's the reality that if you keep stepping in, if you keep persevering, then it does happen. And so that's been like the coolest thing for me to see is that, and also the people that are supposed to come have come into my life. And it's like, I mean, with this talk show right now, like it's a beautiful unfolding. So that's, I think, the most amazing thing that's happened.
That is awesome. I'm excited about it and I love it. She says, being on Talk Leadership with Cedrick is a beautiful unfolding. I love it. So, hey, Heather, tell us one or two things that you've learned um, about yourself since being in business, since being a business owner.
Great question too. I think that it's important to recognize that we are always having to adapt. So that was one of the things that I've had to learn as a business owner. When things don't necessarily work for you, how to
Hmm.
tweak something and how to go. I find that a lot of the people that are friends of mine that are also in this space are kind of those type A driven people who check off all the boxes and need to make sure everything goes the way that they've, kind of organized it in their brains. And if it doesn't, then oh my goodness, right?
Hmm.
But um, understanding that this has to be kind of a stretching process of adapting and working around and thinking about what's next, and maybe having a little bit more of like the law of the rubber band, kind of understanding that that's like what's happening in your business. So that's one thing that I've learned. And the second thing that I've learned is that a lot of times we go to school, we get a job, we get a paycheck, we do all these certain things that are all lined out for us. But when we start our own businesses, it can be a little bit of a daunting experience because it's you deciding what's next for you. It's you deciding what courses to take. It's you deciding how you want to frame everything and how to chunk out your time, which I
Yes.
think is really important as well.
Mhm.
So all these things unfold over time.
Yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly. So, Heather, you talked about faith and fear, right? We either feed one, we have to feed one and get rid of the other, right? And you have to decide which one is going to be for you, right? And we all have to decide that, right? But when you see people who are entrepreneurs and they're struggling with feeding the faith, right?
Mm.
Because it doesn't always go the way you planned it, right? Some things work out great and you're loving that. Then some things you're like, what happened? I had the magic, right? I had the I was the man, the woman, the uh, and all of a sudden it's all gone.
Mhm.
So how do you help those people who lose their faith in themselves and their business when they're struggling?
Yeah. And I think that's a great question. And I feel like so many people in this entrepreneurial life think that they have these grandiose ideas and it's wonderful and you want to encourage them and inspire them. But we also know that one of my friends talks about the 50-50 of life and
Mhm.
understanding the seasons and knowing that there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs, and that there's it's life is a roller coaster, right? But the spring does come after winter, and we
Yeah.
have to be in expectation for the great things that are going to happen in our lives. And
Yeah.
if you're having I think it was Les Brown that says, don't say you're having a bad day, say you're having a character building day. And I
Right.
think that's really what it is. As an entrepreneur, you need to understand that those bad times, those low times are character building times when
Yes.
you are being formed, when you are being cultivated. Um, I really do believe that you can't, as John Maxwell says, you can't lead from a place where you don't have anything to give from.
Yeah.
If you haven't gone through things, if you haven't experienced the lows, because they're there,
Right.
how can you give authentically to another person that might be experiencing that too? So
Yeah.
oftentimes I like to reframe and think, how am I learning for somebody else right now? Like, how am I learning this lesson in this season for another that I can come alongside them when I do get to spring?
Yes. Absolutely. Love that. That's um, a good lesson for someone who is struggling in their business right now. You may be an entrepreneur listening, and you've gone through a difficult time. You've made the phone calls, you've sent emails and emails and emails, and you've made more phone calls, and maybe you knocked on some doors. However, you still getting no, or no one's calling you back, right? It's important that you understand that's not the time that you give up. It's important that you understand that's the time you hang in there. That's the time you keep going. That's the time that you keep saying, I know that I'm already ready for this. I know I'm prepared for this. I just have to hang on and know that it's going to be all right. And keep hanging on and keep saying, I'm going to redo this. I'm going to retry it. I know that I have what it takes. You have
Right.
to be ready for those difficult moments because they're going to come. When they come, if you hang in, this is what Heather's saying. If you come, when it comes, if you hang in and you keep hanging on to your faith, you're going to make it through that difficult time. I'm telling you right now, as you watch me and listen to me in here and you listen to Heather, we're telling you, we're examples of people who are who've gone through the storm and come on the other side of it because we continue to move forward. We continue to believe in ourselves. So I need you, audience, to believe in yourself.
Amen.
Now I'm gonna pass the plate in just a little bit, okay? Just be careful. So, uh, Heather, we have a segment on the show that is called Would You Rather? All right. So you said that you are a quick thinker, so we're going to play a little bit of Would You Rather, all right?
All right.
All right. So, would you rather be a ninja or a pirate?
Ooh, a ninja.
A ninja, all right. And
Yes.
audience, you can participate in this. You can play along. Type your responses in the comments, all right? So I want to see what you have to say, audience. Okay, so let's keep going. Would you rather continue on with your life or restart your life?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I would rather continue on with my life. Because
Okay.
even though, you go through things, it's like you've become who you've become,
Mhm.
and it's your story to live.
Yes. So, would you rather be able to read minds or have the ability to see the future?
uh, well, I think reading minds would be something where I'd get stuck in my own head all the time, right? And seeing the future, I think, would
Mhm.
paralyze me and not do anything, right? So, oh my goodness. I think I would rather see the future and then forget it. Like,
Okay. All right.
I'm giving you an option C.
Okay. All right. So, would you rather have your own private island or your own private jet?
Mm, island.
Island.
Totally. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
So,
you can build on the island, right?
yes, you can do anything you want to on your island. Would you rather fulfill your biggest wish or resolve your biggest regret?
fulfill my biggest wish, because I
Okay,
think that the regrets are things that that, like we've said, like they're building blocks that you can learn from.
sure, sure, absolutely. So, would you rather pick the year that you die or the way that you die?
Ooh, the year. Let me pick the year.
All right, you're gonna pick the year. Okay, you okay, all right. Couple more. Would you rather have free Apple products forever or free Wi-Fi wherever you go?
My goodness. Well, you need the Apple product. You need the Wi-Fi to access Apple products, right? So it's like, I think I would rather have the Wi-Fi because then you get the Apple products, right? You can't use them unless.
So Foster said, continue on because I've learned so many valuable lessons along the way and I don't want to start over. Okay, I like that. Crystal said she'd rather have her own private jet so then she can fly to your island.
Yeah, right.
And she said she'd rather resolve her biggest regret and she'd like to have free Wi-Fi. All right, couple more here and then we're gonna get going here. All right, so I ask everybody this question, okay? So would you rather have $1 million in Amazon gift cards or $100,000 in real money?
Ooh, probably the second one. I think I'd rather have the real money.
The 100,000 in real
Yeah,
money?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. See, I'm gonna take the $1 million in Amazon gift cards because I'm shopping. In fact, I have some packages I have to pick up today from Amazon, and they're always coming. And I could use some of those gift cards to give to the needy.
Oh, yes, that's so smart. Right.
Look at that. See,
Okay. All
I didn't know
right.
a few things.
Yeah, you do.
Well, thank you very much for playing that round of Would You Rather. Yeah, Crystal said, hey, she'd like to have $1 million in Amazon gift.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe I need to rethink that actually, Crystal. I might be with you on that one too.
All right, well, let's get back to the show now. So, um, uh, for your event on March 23rd, right? I'm going to put that back up on the screen for our audience, right? Because it's important that they understand your event on the 23rd. Is there a cost for your event?
No,
No.
there is
All
no
right.
cost.
Do they have to go somewhere to go to your event?
They do not. Well, they have to go somewhere where they have Wi-Fi. So I guess that free Wi-Fi would be pretty nice, right?
Okay. All right. Yeah. Or they could just do it right in the comfort of their own home, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
exactly.
awesome. And again, remind our audience there may be someone that didn't hear your message earlier. Tell them what they're going to learn and what they're going to benefit from attending this program.
So, yeah, it's really important that I talk to the parents of the adolescents that I've been working with. And in my coaching program, I've noticed that there is this gap between what people say, their parents say, and like what the adolescent hears. So in my event, I'm going to be talking through my specifics of my program because coaching has been kind of this new thing in the past 15 years. So they go, that sounds great, but what does that entail? Like what is that, right?
Right.
And I want to be able to tell more people about it because I think that coaching can be so beneficial in so many different spaces. So that is something that I'm going to be talking about. And then I'm also going to be giving some tools and some tips to parents right now that they can use with their kids, with their teenagers, in their own lives to really just capture the essence of what coaching can do and
Hmm.
how it can impact others. One of the things that I think is so powerful And we've talked a little bit about this too, is those mirror neurons in your brain. And so that's something that I'll be talking about on the 23rd as well. So just some tips, some tools to be like, oh, maybe I could use that, this week.
Awesome. I like that. So make sure you click on the link in the comments. We just put the link back in the comments again so that if you're just joining us, you can just click on it. Go ahead and sign up. Heather wants you to sign up so she can get ready, so she can get prepared, so she can bring you the goods.
Yes.
Guess what, folks? We have an announcement we're gonna make. We're gonna go ahead and make this announcement. Now, talking about bringing the goods, right? Let's talk about what Heather S. and Cedrick Seti is going to be doing here real soon. So, as you guys know, we had a show that in 2021 that was called Cut the Cord. And guess what? Who's going to be my new co-host? Miss Heather S. is going to be the new co-host for Cut the Cord. And let me tell you, you may be asking, what is Cut the Cord? You may be wondering, well, what is Cut the Cord? Let me tell you, Cut the Cord is a lunch and learn series that we appear live every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central Time with a new Cut the Cord lunch and learn series. In order to go to a new level, you have to cut the umbilical cord. It's sort of like the baby, right? They cut the umbilical cord once the baby is born so that the baby can go to a higher life form. And guess what? Even if they forget to cut the umbilical cord, after about an hour, it's going to close itself off so that the baby can go to that next level life form. Well, what we're going to be doing in this Lunch and Learn series, we're not going to be cutting you. We're going to be we are going to be helping you with some impactful, no charge education. We're going to be helping you with things around personal growth and development, around mindset, around goal setting, around reaching for the stars. So if you're looking for something that's going to help you, then guess what? You need to tune in every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central Time, live on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. You're going to be in a position that we're going to help you elevate your mindset. It's going to help you set goals. It's going to help you get outside your comfort zone. It's going to help you start saying things like, I'm already good enough. I earned it. I am smart enough to do it. I am because I am. It's going to give you what I call the it factor. Visualize it, pray about it, plan it, work it, live it, and don't give up on it. That's what we're going to be dealing with Cut the Cord every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Central Time. Just tune in to my Facebook page, my YouTube, and LinkedIn, and Heather will stream it on hers as well. 12 p.m. every Wednesday, Cut the Cord. Say it again. Every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Central Time, Cut the Cord with Steady and Heather S. We're excited. I'm excited. Heather, are you excited about this?
I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited. As a lot of people say, you need to make space. You need to make room in order to move to the next level. So if we're holding on to all this stuff and we're carrying our baggage and we're trying to make it to the next level, it's like this weight, right? And when we decide to cut the cord, we're able to go to the next level. We're able to be that bigger version of ourselves that we want to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I want to tell you a story around this a little bit, because it's about positive mindset, positive thinking, right? And I heard of this farmer. There was a positive farmer and a negative farmer, and they were really good friends. They'd hang out together. When it would rain, the positive farmer would say, "Thank you, Lord, for watering our crops." But the negative farmer would say, "If it keeps this up, it's going to rot the roots." When the sun came out, the positive farmer would say, "Lord, thank you for giving our plants valuable nutrients." But the negative farmer couldn't see it. And he would always say, "If it keeps this up, it's going to scorch the crops." Now, one day they went bird hunting together in a boat. The positive farmer had just gotten a new bird dog, and he was so proud of him. And he shot a bird, and it fell in the water. And then he tells the negative farmer, "Watch this." Now the dog jumps out of the boat, ran on top of the water, picked up the bird and ran back on top of the water and put it in the boat, and the dog jumped in the boat. He asked, he says, now what do you think about that? Well, the negative farmer said, I should have known that dog couldn't swim. You see, folks, we want to help you think like the positive farmer. We want to help you with mindset growth. We want to help you go to another level. And that's what Cut the Cord is all about. If you're ready to go to another level, if you're ready to start saying things like, I'm already good enough. I know that I'm going to be successful. I know that I can. I know that I am because I am. Then guess what? Every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central, you need to tune in to Heather S. and Seti on Cut the Cord. I'm excited about it, Heather.
Yeah, I am too. This is so exciting.
Awesome.
We're having a great time because it's all about that positive mindset, right? If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So right along those lines, Heather, what would you tell someone if let me rephrase the question a little bit, okay? We've all had success in our business, right? We've all had good times in our business, but we've also all failed and had challenges in our business, right? So what would you tell someone who's failed? What did you learn from your failure, and how did it help you overcome?
I think that it's so important to fail. I think that this is about a lot of what we're talking about with Cut the Cord is about reframing your thinking, reframing your perspective. And when we do fail, because we will fail, right? We all fail, we're human. It's an opportunity to step back and say, what did I learn from this? What did I learn so that, hey, maybe I'm not going to do that next time. Okay, well, I charged this amount, but that didn't really work. Or, hey, this, LinkedIn feed didn't really work the way I thought it was. Or like you said before, well, why did that fail so badly? But we all have this expectation of ourselves. And when we don't meet it, or when we don't experience it, right, in our minds and in like real life, we're like, wait, that didn't really happen. And so we get disappointed in ourselves and we fall back into this limited mindset. Oh, this, and we go back into that spiral of negative thinking, like, oh, yep, I knew this was going to happen. Oh, yep, I can't do this. And so really reframing that has been powerful for me. Oftentimes in jobs, right, we don't meet a quota, or we don't make the sale, or we don't do this, or we don't finish this report. And then we think we failed because we didn't do those things. But the interesting thing is when you become an entrepreneur, and I'd like to speak to that a little bit because you haven't really failed in that situation either. But in the entrepreneurial space, you don't have to view it that way at all. You can just say, okay, kind of laugh at yourself and be like, well, let's pick it up and try again. Pick it up and try again. Pick it up and try it again. Like, when do kids learn to fail? That because they've fallen so many times when they're walking, they don't think I'm a failure. I'm just going to give up and crawl for the rest of my life.
Exactly. Yes. Absolutely, 100% agree with you. Failure is a part of the process, right? And if, like you said earlier, if you've not been through the struggle, how are you going to help someone that's been through the struggle, that's going through the struggle? Right. How can people get in contact with you?
You can click the link below or in the comments. We are going to put Coaching with Heather right there. They can just go to my website and fill out a form to connect with me. It'll go straight to me, and I am happy to have a conversation and talk through and really connect with people. Because one thing about my coaching and about my business is that I find that the people who connect with me and who have conversations understand that I value their time as well. I see that they are going for something greater in their lives, or they're trying to improve something. And I want them to feel encouraged, valued, and also heard in that space.
Yeah, I like that. Encouraged, valued, and heard. Encouraged, valued, and heard. So click the link below and give Heather S a shout out and tell her you heard her over here on Talk Leadership with Cedrick, and you want to see how she can help you feel valued, encouraged, and heard. I absolutely love that, Heather. So, um, if you were home alone, no one's there, the dog's gone, the cat's gone, the bird's gone, just you, what dessert would you eat?
Oh my gosh. I think anything that has chocolate and peanut butter. So any kind of like, give me chocolate cake with peanut butter on it. I think it would just be an incredible dessert to have right about now, actually. Or maybe some ice cream, right? I'd go for that too. It depends on the season. I'm a very big season person in terms of
Are
food.
you?
Yes, yes. So
Okay, so since you are a chef, what's a great dish to have in this season?
great dish to have in this season is okay. Well, anything that has butternut squash, right? So here's what I'm thinking. A butternut squash with the arborio rice makes a risotto. So you make the risotto with the arborio rice, you add a little bit of stock to it, maybe a little bit of some different kinds of spices like rosemary or thyme, and then you roast your butternut squash in the oven, and then you take it, you add it to your risotto, you mix it all together, and maybe a good crust of bread on the side. How does that sound?
That sounds perfect. All right. Hey guys, we are headed over to Heather S's house right now.
Yeah. Let me go to the store real quick. Give me 10 minutes.
That is, yeah, that does sound good. I bet our audience is even excited about that one. We might have to have a cooking show with you. I have a person that comes on once a month to talk about, it's called Healthy Eating with Shatanya. And she's a dietitian, and she comes on and gives healthy eating tips on the second Monday of the month. So, we might have to have her come on, and then you cook a dish, and yeah, it's just gonna be a big cooking
Yeah,
party. Yeah, and then I'll
that would
make
be great.
chocolate chip and pecan cookies, and
I've heard about these chocolate and pecan cookies.
oh, they're to die for. They're the bomb. I gotta say that they're the bomb.
I can't wait to try them. Maybe
Yeah.
you have to do a cooking show too then on those cookies.
Okay. All right. I'll have to do that. You're right. Lord, I want more of those cookies. Where's FedEx when I need them?
Right? Can Amazon just
Uh,
prime them?
yeah, yeah. And I cook my cookies from scratch, so there's no box anything here. It's everything is from scratch. So
That's
awesome,
amazing.
awesome, awesome. So Heather, if there was a book that was written about you, what would the title of the book be, and what would the summary in the back of the book say about you?
I think the summary would need like a double cover. No, because there's so much. No, I think that a book that would embody me would be um, assurance and transcendence. And
Assurance
I
and independence.
Yeah, and I say those two words, and I know they're kind of vague, but I think that it's pretty important stuff, because when you have assurance, right? Not insurance, assurance, and you
Yeah.
start walking in that assurance, you start to really take a hold of the greater possibilities. And that's what I think my journey has kind of shown me is that you start to assure in your faith and in your walk that you are being called to something greater. You start to carry that why right with you in your
Mhm.
mind, and that's what I've started to do. And then you start to really transcend the kind of thinking that you've had before, like we were talking about with cut the cord, the negative thinking, right? Those limiting beliefs and all of that. And I think it would really, the back of the book would talk about my story and about how when I was little, I was also, as you said in my bio, I was also called names. And I also dealt with things in my life that I was like, wait, where did that come from? And not realizing, because your subconscious patterning is so powerful. So not realizing that you're still thinking those thoughts, because we go into these habit loops of thinking, right?
Right.
Over and over again. So just understanding that in order to break those patterns, in order to kind of see greater, you have to have an assurance that's greater than yourself. You have to have something that you want to give this world and be reaching for that, almost like, you're trying to pull a rope and you're trying to get to the other side, kind of to that island. I'm trying to connect all the dots here.
All right, I like that. Okay. All right. I like that. All right, awesome. So, last question for you. Would you rather have 1 million friends or $1 million?
Friends.
1 million friends.
100%. And
Wow.
yeah, it's the connections, right? Because we come to this world with nothing, we leave with nothing.
Mhm.
So the connections that we make, the people that we can give back to, are more important than anything.
Wow. I like that. 1 million friends. A whole lot of people say $1 million. Um,
I mean, right now? No.
yeah. $1 million and one friend.
Yeah. Me, myself, and I, right?
Exactly, exactly. See, because you have that private island, right?
Yeah. Yep.
There you go. Boom. You can build all kinds of stuff on that. So, folks, we have been having a great conversation this evening with Heather S. And hopefully you've enjoyed the show. I know that I've enjoyed the conversation. I'm excited about Cut the Cord every Wednesday, starting this Wednesday, 12 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you tune in to Cut the Cord. You don't want to miss it. We're going to have a dynamic show. Also, I want you to make sure that you remember that every Tuesday on the Empowered Living Network, we have the Black Entrepreneurs Live Show, and that airs at 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 7:30 Eastern Time. Make sure you tune in for that. As I always tell you, folks, make sure you're not just living an ordinary life. Make sure you try to live an extraordinary life. And folks, you need to remember and you need to understand that the only difference between ordinary and extraordinary is extra. Now, I know the word for all you educators out there. I know the word is extraordinary. I don't like that word. I like extraordinary. The only difference between winning and losing is belief. The only difference between hot water and boiling water is 1 degree. You see, at 211 degrees, water is hot. At 212 degrees, water boils. With boiling water comes steam. With steam, you can power a train. The only difference between a person reaching their full potential and not reaching their full potential is desire. So you have to have the desire to go to another level. You have to have the desire to be the difference in the world that you want to be. I always leave you with, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu, and don't be on the menu. Thank you guys, and good night.